It's 3 a.m. You're staring at the ceiling. Your brain is doing that math it always does. If I fall asleep in the next 10 minutes, I still get 5 hours and 40 minutes. You roll over, you check the time again, you feel it in your chest, that specific quiet panic of being awake when the whole world is supposed to be asleep. Here's the strange part. For almost all of human history, that exact moment, wide awake, alone, in the dark, running the math, either didn't happen the way it happens to you, or it didn't come with any of that dread at all. So, did ancient humans actually sleep better than we do? The honest answer isn't yes, and it isn't no. It's more interesting than that. It comes in layers, and each one is going to change something about how you see your own nights. Let's start with the assumption you're probably making right now that people who lived without screens, without electric light, without alarm clocks, must have slept like rocks. Long, deep, unbroken sleep night after night. A few years ago, sleep scientist Jerome Siegel and his team did something nobody had really done before. They put small movement tracking sensors on people from three of the last remaining hunter gatherer and forager societies on Earth: the Hadza in Tanzania, the San in Namibia, and the Chimane in Bolivia. No electricity, no artificial light, physically worn out from a full day of walking, foraging, and hunting. The results came back almost boring. On average, they slept about 6.5 to 7.5 hours a night. Not 9, not 10, barely different from what plenty of us get right now, screens and all. So, if it wasn't about how much they slept, what was actually different? The difference wasn't quantity. It was what was happening underneath the surface of that sleep. And this is where it gets genuinely fascinating. Anthropologist David Sampson spent time studying the Hadza specifically to answer a question that sounds almost too simple. When a whole group sleeps together at night, with no walls, no locked doors, and real predators nearby, how does anyone get deep, restorative sleep without leaving the whole camp exposed? The answer isn't that they took turns on watch. Nobody was assigning night shifts. The answer is something quieter and honestly kind of elegant. People naturally have different chronotypes, different internal body clocks. Some of us are wired to get sleepy early and wake early. Some of us run late in both directions. When Sampson tracked sleep across the group, he found that because of this natural variation, there was almost never a moment where every single person was in deep sleep at the same time. Someone, somewhere in that camp, was always closer to the surface of wakefulness. Nobody had to calculate predator risk against rest need and make a decision about it. The math solved itself, built into the natural diversity of the group's biology. That's the mechanism, not vigilance by choice, but vigilance by design, spread across bodies that were never quite synchronized. Now, here's the second layer, and it's about something even more specific. What happened when people woke up in the middle of the night, alone in their own bed, the way you do? Historian Roger Eckertz spent years digging through pre industrial diaries, court records, and medical texts from Europe, and he found something that had basically been forgotten. Before artificial light took over the night, most people didn't sleep in one long block at all. They slept in two. They called it first sleep and second sleep. You'd go to bed shortly after dark, sleep for a few hours, then wake up, not in a panic, not checking a clock, because clocks that mattered to ordinary people barely existed yet. You'd lie there for an hour or so. Some people talked quietly with a partner. Some tended the fire. Some prayed. Some just lay in the dark thinking, completely unbothered. Then, naturally, second sleep would come, and you'd drift off again until morning. That waking hour had a name. It was expected. It wasn't a problem to be solved, it was just part of the night. So, what happened to it? Artificial light mostly, and then clock time. Once gas lamps and later electric light pushed bedtimes later and made the night feel like something to be pushed back against, and once industrial schedules demanded one clean block of sleep before a shift start time, segmented sleep stopped being useful. It didn't disappear because it was broken. It disappeared because the world around it changed faster than our biology did. Now, that doesn't mean everyone everywhere lived this way, and it's worth being honest about that. Solo hunters in some environments needed a different kind of vigilance, more continuous, less shareable, because there was no group to spread the risk across. In extreme climates, exposure and body heat loss sometimes mattered more than predator risk, changing the calculation entirely. And no sleep scientist today is telling you to try forcing your own sleep back into two segments. Our light environment, our schedules, our entire relationship with the night has shifted too much for that to be a simple fix. This isn't a call to go backward, it's a call to understand what we actually lost. And that hour of calm wakefulness in the middle of the night, that's exactly what I built one part of the God of Sleep guide around. It's called the 3 a.m. wake up plan, and it's basically a modern version of what Eckhart found in those old diaries, a calm, specific way to handle that exact waking moment instead of letting it spiral into an hour of checking the clock and doing math. It's linked below if you want to see it. Because here's the actual reframe, and it's the whole answer to the question we started with. Ancient humans probably didn't sleep better in any biological sense. They didn't get more hours. Their sleep wasn't magically deeper. What they had, that we lost, was psychological safety around waking up at night. Nobody in that pre industrial bedroom woke at 2 a.m. and thought, I have a 7 a.m. meeting and I'm ruining my sleep. There was no meeting. There was no ruined night. There was just a quiet hour and then more sleep. The waking wasn't the enemy. It never was. What's new isn't the waking, it's the dread we've bolted onto it. So tonight, if you wake up at 3 a.m., here's what I actually want you to remember. That moment, eyes open, room dark, mind drifting, isn't a malfunction. It's not proof that something's wrong with you. It's one of the oldest, most human things your body knows how to do. Your ancestors did it every single night of their lives, and most of them didn't think twice about it. The only thing that's changed is what you do with that moment. They rested in it, we panic in it. If you want an actual plan for turning that panic back into rest, not vague advice, but the real, structured, science backed system clinics actually use, broken down into a simple 7-day plan you can start tonight, that's exactly what the Insomnia Reset is for. It's linked in the description, and it might be the calmest thing you do all week. Sleep well. You've earned it. You always have.